Orange neon, that's the Ferris wheel. Then across the street from Toys R Us is ABC Studios, where they take Good Morning America. Nightline, they do all kinds of filming there. It looks like they're planning for a big event here. Advertising Ion television. Maybe they'll be doing that later when we get back. Check something out. Yeah, it's fun. Ooh, and then on the right-hand side in front of us, you see a bunch of mounted police. We have the oldest and largest mounted police force in the country. They're standing in front of the Paramount building. This is where the Paramount Theater was. And in 1944, Frank Sinatra did a really famous gig, and where they say like 25,000 Bobby Sockers filled this area, all trying to get a glimpse of Old Blue Eyes. So on the left side, in front of Melvin, or just kitty corner here, you see the NASDAQ. And that is the stock market that has the most listings, but they also have the largest sign in Times Square. The buildings in this area are mandated to have neon and advertising on the outsides, because that's what makes Times Square Times Square. All the lights. We're going to take a right onto 42nd Street. This is the famous stretch of 42nd Street, by the way. You see the New Amsterdam Theater where Mary Poppins is playing? Mary Poppins? So that theater was one of the original beautiful playhouses on Broadway. The theaters moved up here when the New York Times did, just at the early part of the 20s. Al's Soup Kitchen. Of course, that place is closed, so no soup for you. No soup. But his place is called the Original Soup Man, and that's what you want to see. That's where you want to go to try. By Italian Americans, celebrating the 400th anniversary of Columbus's first journey to the New World. Columbus's discovery of America. This also marks the southwest corner of Central Park. The Time Warner Center is a pretty amazing mixed-use development. Some people call it the new Twin Towers. Not many, but that's what they say. Anyway, that's got Time Warner's offices, CNN studios, the condominiums, fine hotel. On the right-hand side, we pass the first Trump building that I'll show you, the Trump International Hotel and Tower. Now, Donald Trump really wanted to get his hands on the development rights for that land, where the Time Warner Center is now. But since he did not, as they were putting the finishing touches on the Time Warner Center, Trump had banners hung at the very top of the Trump Hotel that said, "Your views aren't so great, are they?" There are a couple of bricks that are out of place, but not so bad. But let's see, when the subway opened, it was just a nickel, 5 cents to go one way. And now you guys are like, that was 105 years ago, Lori. Of course it was cheap. Except what's amazing is that it stayed that price until 1948. So for 44 years, there's just a black turret and a little green trim on the top. That is the Ansonia apartment building. Ansonia Apartments. That building opened in 1904, the same year that the subway opened. Now, the builders of that building wanted to appeal to New York's elite. They wanted people with money, right, to move into their building. Yeah, John Lennon lived in the Dakota, and then this is where he was shot when he was on the way home that evening in December 1980. It's also our first stop, so that's why Melvin's getting pulled over carefully. He's going to drop us off. Right in front of us is Central Park. So we're going to cross the street and go into the park. And there's a mosaic on the ground in Strawberry Fields. So we'll stop there and I'll talk about that. We'll also get a great look at the Dakota from the... All right. The Central Park West is 2.5 miles, I should say the park is 2.5 miles from north to south. From east to west, it's half a mile. So pretty much the lungs of New York City. People also call it the heart. They recently valued the property. Say if they were to develop this land, right, and turn it into offices and residence. They came up with a figure upwards of $560 billion. Oddly enough, they had never worked together before. But they did in this instance, and they submitted what they called the Greensward Plan, and that was obviously the winning design. Part of the contest rules, they had to have at least 4 east-west routes across the park. And the park designers really didn't want Henry Hardenberg. This didn't open until 1907, and so it was a little more on track with the development of the city. There's a lot to see at this intersection. On the left-hand side is the Apple Store. You recognize that logo, right? An iPhone like me. So you go down their glass stairs, and voila, you're in the Apple Store. It's open 24/7, so you can go anytime. On the left also is FAO Schwartz. You see the red sign there. That's the famous toy store. Do you remember the movie Big? With Tom Hanks, the dance on piano? I can't do it, but you could try. I don't have rhythm, I don't think. One of my best friends is a drummer, right? On the right-hand side is Abercrombie and Fitch. More of a recent tourist attraction because they always have a topless model standing inside, and then you can wait and take your pictures. Of course, it's a guy, of course. But it's an interesting way to sell clothing. So young gals flock into Abercrombie and Fitch and have their pictures taken with the ripped dude. And since they use stainless steel, it's almost as if it's reflecting the sky, so it is almost endless. We're going to see it one more time when we cross 42nd Street. It'll be over your left shoulder. It was the first time they used stainless steel on the outside of a building, and all of the gargoyles and point. But now it is a favorite among New Yorkers because it's such a wonderful example of Art Deco design. I'll talk more about the Chrysler Building, but here on the right we pass the New York Public Library. You see the lions out front. They are named Patience and Fortitude. Named in the 1930s, during the Great Depression, by our mayor, Fiorillo LaGuardia. The library was the largest marble structure attempted at that time. See, it takes up 2 city blocks, and it goes down about 7 stories underneath the ground, and it also goes underneath Bryant Park. About 1.5 million books